What is up, fellow bench warmers? This is your daily fantasy quick. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another quickie. We apologize for not throwing out an episode yesterday. I think it was yesterday. But yeah, we are back. And lots of news also that came out. Injuries still. Last episode, we talked about injuries. Today, we'll talk a little bit about some new names in the list. My name is JJT. With Kamish.
Yep.
How was your fantasy week?
Not so good. Have some teams in trouble, just like last week. New teams in trouble because of the new injuries. This week, a little recap of the week. Lots of injuries. As you can see, most of our daily notes are about injuries nowadays, which we expected. That's week 6, week 5, right? Week 5. So we're at the point where injuries are starting to pile up for different.
But I think I just sense like there's a lot, or maybe my team has suffered a lot compared to previous years. Because last year, somehow I was a bit spared by injuries. This year, I have a lot. Like I have Maxi, I have Harden, I have LaMelo, I have Bane, and I have Lillard, I have LeBron. I mean, I know I have a lot of leagues, but when I look at my rosters, there have been a lot of teams also with these players. I have a couple of LeBrons, 2 or 3 teams with LaMelo. I think 3 or 4 teams with LaMelo. Just a lot. And it's really a struggle. It's depressing this week. This week, I thought I'm going to win a couple at least by a good margin, but eventually I lost out 4-5, tied 1, 4-4. So yeah, it's been a bad week.
Lots of sprained ankles. I don't know if there's anything they do differently, or they just jump higher, they just move faster. So the sprains. Plus, of course, we have to realize COVID is still there, and there's a virus going around in the NBA. So the illness and everything put together, plus the fact that we have more teams this year. We also are managing more teams. So I guess the chances of you getting an injured player is higher.
No, I also think you said it correctly a while ago while we were talking off air this morning. We had a lot of similar draft positions.
Yeah.
So that's why it hurts more. Like we have lots of Lillards, we have lots of
you have LeBron.
Jokic. I have a few Jokic, LeBron, right? Who else are on the back end of the list there? We're usually at the 12, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Basically, Lillard, Haliburton, right?
Yeah.
These are the guys we got.
And then later on, LaMelo, right? LaMelo later on dropped a bit when he was injured.
So Haliburton was a surprise. He played through the injury. That's a big help to us. We have a lot of Haliburton. I have a lot of Haliburton also. Same position. Basically, gets you the same set of players, because usually the choices are there. You prefer this player over the other, so you always go to that player. Maxi, I don't know how many Maxis you have.
I think I have 3 somewhere.
I have my Maxi. I have that with Lillard and LeBron. So that
I also have 1 team with that. But the worst hit was the Harden one. I had Harden, Bane. I had Mitch Rob, which came back today. And a few more. And the other guy that is part of that team is Cade Cunningham, and he is the guy that is in danger of being the first. How do you call this? End of season injury. Is this looking like something that could end his season?
Yes, I think it is gonna. There's a higher than 50% chance it's gonna end his season, and this goes to show that preseason games matter also. We cannot just disregard preseason games, preseason struggles, preseason performances. Just saying it's not yet the regular season. For veterans maybe, but for younger players, especially rookies, sophomores, juniors, preseason is very important. And Cade's injury was lingering from the preseason, and he was really struggling during that time. So we should have seen that, and we should have taken that into consideration when we were
No,
thinking
but
of
it's
drafting
hard.
him
It's
or
that
ranking
that's
him.
going to be hard. That's going to be hard because there were no news of him being injured
Yes,
prior
yes,
to
that's
the
true.
past couple of weeks, right?
That's
He
true.
even played well before that. He got injured. So it's going to be hard to just think that he has an injury when no reports have come out that he
No,
has.
I'm not
This
saying
is
we should assume that he has an injury when he's playing bad. But if he's playing bad, we have to take that into consideration when we're drafting or ranking players during the preseason, because that's when our draft season starts. Whether it's something wrong with him, whether there's something wrong with the system, with the coach, whatever. There is sometimes some stories behind those struggles of players, or whether they're just struggling on a slump, and that still factors in. We all just disregarded it as kids trying to incorporate IV and all those stuff.
yeah.
But now the news comes out that it's really been bothering him uh, for a lot during
So
those times.
so now I if I'm not mistaken, I have seen a few Cade Cunningham being dropped already.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Is it safe to say that he's dropped now at this point?
No, I do have him. I'm thinking of whether what to do, because I know I have Harden and Chris Paul there, but I cannot drop him without knowing what he wants to do with this injury. If it's a surgery, it's season ending. That's just clear. He can come back maybe the last week or so, last 10 games, but by the time your season's over, so it's a drop. But if he decides to rest, he can play some games. He can probably miss, play every other game, or maybe no back to backs. They can manage it. So I won't drop him without that news, definitive news, whether he's gonna take the surgery or not. But big chance he does. No, if I mean, he's young, the team is not contending. Why will they? Why will they manage this? That's just my thinking, but that is
Yeah.
not something based on an actual fact. So it's just us
Yeah.
guessing.
Plus, teams have been a scene with all these missed games. Teams have been very conservative, especially with
Mm,
their young players, their stars, right? If just a classic example would be Kawhi, wherein they were really very cautious about him playing,
yeah, yeah.
right? And this is not uh, an old, in his prime window closing type of player. Cade is a very young, the future of Detroit, you could say. So,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be very cautious with this. I would be surprised if they still play him. But having said that, I think that we should still wait for, I think, 2 or 3 kids there. We should wait for the final update before dropping. I could understand some teams might be trying to survive the week as well. I mean, this might not be the lone person in their injury list, right? In their IL spot. So they might be,
Yeah,
they might say might as well cut him now. It looks like he's gonna be out for long. So yeah, I could understand that as well. But for me, like Komish said, I'll wait to see what happens, to see the timeline. We always do, right? We always do. Here in FBW, we always say, wait for the timeline before making any major moves, unless they give out, a really bleak report, or unless it's a low end player, then you really have to wait for the final timeline to see what you can do about it. So that's Cade. If he was dropped, I don't know if you're maybe top of your league, you might want to take a flyer and see where that goes. I mean, while we're waiting for the timeline,
I
you
we
don't. Yeah,
we got a post about that, exactly that situation. He was dropped in his league. He's number one in the waiver wire. He's number one in the league. So he was asking whether he should pick him up or not. We got that question, and I said yes. That's the right thing to do. You're number one. You're everything. Just have to gamble, because if he comes back and just plays, a decent number of games, it's gonna seal it for you. If your team is really that strong, being number one, right?
yeah,
So
yeah. So another injury. So that's Cade Cunningham. Hopefully, let's wait for the news. Dame Lillard, down once again with another injury. Out for 1 to 2 weeks. That's probably
at
six,
least,
7 more games, right?
at least, at least 1 to 2 weeks. Yes.
Last time I think missed a couple of weeks,
He
two and a
missed
half,
four
I think.
games. He
So
missed
yeah,
only
so
4 games, but that was because I think Portland had a 2 game week, if I'm not mistaken. But he just missed 4 games. But now they don't have that same schedule coming up.
yeah,
So he probably is gonna miss 7 to 8, something like that. So that puts him at 12 games missed already. We're not even in week 6. So looking like he's not gonna reach 60 games this week, this season.
another problematic player.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't expect this, because I thought that he already dealt with the core thing, the problem there. So he should be healthy, he should be fresh. This was totally
Yeah, this
totally
is
not what I expected.
though this was a different injury. It's not the same,
Eh,
right?
exactly, yes. But maybe there's also the age factor,
Yeah,
maybe the
that
rust
one. I mean,
factor.
the difference now is that they've gone through that core injury that Lillard played through for what years, right? A few
Yeah, yeah,
years. Safe to say that would never happen again. With Lillard,
yeah.
I don't think he'll play through any injury, however big or small that is. I don't think, unless it's maybe the playoffs or they're fighting for a championship. But the regular season, he is going to probably be missing games. Um, Closer to maybe the Jimmy Butler type of situation here for Lillard. I think the situation we're in,
I
he'll
think.
probably miss more games than you would expect. Just because of some minor injury, even major ones. Obviously the major ones he'll miss, but the minor ones, I think he'll miss some games because of those things. Plus, Portland is what, number one, number two in the
No,
West.
that's Miami and Portland. They both have contending aspirations. They want to get in. They want to contend. So they'll be very cautious,
Yeah.
careful. Plus the fact that Portland has some players that can carry the torch. Same with Miami usually, but Miami is just totally depleted right now. But usually they would have players that can at least make them
Well,
competitive.
Miami was depleted, but someone carried the torch for them a couple of games ago, right? I mean,
Yeah,
did they win? They
but they
nearly
still
won
lost.
that one.
They still lost.
But they nearly
Yeah,
won that one. I mean,
yeah, but they still lost. And
I know,
after
but
that game, they they got blown out already. You can survive a game or two, but
yeah.
teams eventually figure it out, and the players are going to be fatigued. So I'm expecting that unless something's really bad with Jimmy Butler, he should be back after this road trip. But we
Yeah.
don't have any updates also. So let us wait for that. But you're correct in the sense that comparing Lillard and Butler, they won't play through minor ailments. So they would try to. They're veterans. They're veterans with a lot of mileage already. So they will really, really have to make sure that by playoff time, they'll be ready. And similar situation is Chris Paul. The heel thing, I don't think it's that major, to be honest. I know it's not 100%, but he himself said it. If it's not 105 or 110%, he would not play it. So that is the same thing. But I think if this was a playoff game, he could play. But
Yeah.
they won't force it. So that is the problem with drafting veterans, I guess. Veterans, as in really veterans. These guys are, I don't know, late 30s,
Yeah, but
mid 30s already.
yeah. I mean, the older ones, I guess. I mean, I think
The older ones.
Dame is a little safer. Chris Paul, of course, is a rare case, right? Chris Paul and LeBron are on a different level when it comes to their age and their mileage. But yeah, anything can happen. I mean, Cade is probably going to be out months. Maxi's gonna be out for a month, right? Month or so. I mean, these are young players, but they got injured as well. So
Maxis was a fluke. Maxis was just a sprain, and that's, I guess, that was small fracture. So.
Yeah.
Well,
But again,
you can't.
It's not
You
really
can't
on
predict
the
those things.
age, I guess. It's not really on the age, but like you
No,
said, the older the players are, they'll be more careful. Minor stuff, they won't play through it.
sprained ankle is not on the age. Sprained ankles, you can get sprained ankles whatever age you are, but just takes longer for older people to recover from that. Plus the fact that they're not gonna force it.
Yeah, they're not
Usually
gonna push
when you're a
it. They're
veteran,
not gonna
usually
push
playing
it.
for contending teams. Yeah, they're not gonna push it.
They're not gonna push it. So, and given that their teams are all doing well, they have some luxury of sitting these guys out until they're really ready. So yeah, that's Dame.
Yeah.
Another old guy, Kevin Love, would be out, I think, 1 to 2 weeks, right? Or longer.
Longer.
I think this one is the hand or the thumb, right?
The thumb. It's a hairline fracture in the thumb. This could take 3 weeks or a month. This could take 3 weeks or a month. And he's been playing. Yeah. Well, of course, you try to put him in your IL first, IL plus, if you can. But if you don't have any available, you have so many injuries.
With so many injuries, I think you're in a good space or position if he's the only guy in your IL.
Yeah. And you can keep him if you want. But for me, he's a drop. Kevin Love.
Another player got injured in the hand, right? Just today.
Who?
I couldn't remember.
Kevin Love?
Who?
Duncan. Duncan Robinson.
Oh yeah, Duncan. Yeah, you mentioned Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson.
Mike Conley, another old guy. Mike Conley. Mike Conley's out for how long? I don't think this is a long.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Not too bad.
It didn't look good. It didn't look good yesterday because it was a non-contact injury. But I was impressed with Mike Conley's answers. If you own Mike Conley, you would be happy with the way he answered questions about the injury. He said when he fell down, it was not good, non-contact, but he checked the ligaments, he checked this, he checked that. He seems like he knows a lot of things about injuries because I probably got so many injuries already. And said this is intact, that is intact, da. So he was very, very systematic, very knowledgeable. So that
Dr.
made us
Conley.
think, which is what happened. Yeah, that was what happened with the MRI results came out. It was just hyperextension, not really no ligament damage. It's just 2 weeks. So Dr. Conley, we wish more players would be that good.
All right. So with these injuries, I know we have Paul George in the list, but I think Paul George is a little bit more minor because he's still game time decision. He could end up playing tomorrow. But with these injuries, whose stock moves up? Of course, Jaden Ivey stock moves up because of Cade. Maybe Killian still decent.
Killian, Alec Burks.
Right? Alec Burks could still be a hold, right? I think Alec Burks is more of a hold and see what happens kind of thing. I think really here the biggest beneficiary could be Jaden. as seen today, right? Or in the past
Killian
week.
and Jaden.
Yeah.
Jaden biggest boost. He, as I said, he could go up to the top three of rookies this year with the usages he's gonna have with Cade out. So Jaden really biggest boost, but you're not gonna be seeing Jaden in the waiver wire. So Killian and Alec, I think even in 14 team leagues you can add Alec Burks already. I know he's not yet in shape, but remember, Dwayne Casey loves Alec Burks. He plays this guy a lot of minutes even last year. So if you need points, if you need scoring, Alec Burks is basically better than Colin Sexton. Now that's my thing. And if you're owning Colin Sexton, there's no reason why you shouldn't own Alec Burks.
Yeah,
You
if you're
shouldn't
holding
add
on
him.
Colin Sexton.
Yeah.
Dame's injury though, Anthony Simons, we've seen this before. Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, Nurkic, and maybe a little Josh Hart. It's much deeper.
Everybody.
Much deeper for the Blazers. No major ad. Sharp can be a streamer, but not really an exciting one. I don't think he'll be Winslow probably, but again, old guy.
Winslow has had 20 something, mid 20 minutes the past 2 games. It's not done much.
Yeah.
So, but we have seen him step up when Lillard got injured. We've seen him do it. So if you're in deep leagues like 18, 16 teams, I think you can add Winslow and see where it goes.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But standards, no.
Yeah. So Winslow, Mike Conley, missing games could benefit Sexton.
Yeah. I in our DFS show I talked about Taylor Horton Tucker, and I think Sexton will get more points, more assists for sure, but not substantial. I don't know. I may be wrong, but I just don't think it's gonna be like what we want, like 7 assists, 8 assists, 18, 20 points.
Plus I think he still comes off the bench.
That's another thing. I'm not even sure he's gonna start. It could be THT. It could be the one who's starting for them. I don't see the boost in minutes in Sexton when Conley's out as much as we all think, he would get. Not get 35 minutes, 33 minutes because Conley's out. It's not just how they do it in Utah. It's like a committee of he gets a boost, but not 34, 35, just a little more. So Sexton is okay, but I think if you want somebody who really gets a big jump, it might be Taylor Horton Tucker.
Yeah. So watch that space and see who benefits there. We've seen this before. I think Conley missed a game or two before.
Back-to-backs.
Yeah. So the back-to-backs, that would give you an indication of who benefits. Maybe Malik Beasley benefits a bit more as well. Because he's been playing well.
Playing very well, yes.
Very well. Even better than Sexton, so he shouldn't be there in your wires. Kevin Love, I don't know who's gonna benefit without Love, but
Osman,
Levert got friends with benefits here.
Yeah.
There's no Love.
Levert also sprained his ankle today, so I think Osman is the guy we can add back. He was hot today. Hopefully, he can continue that. Yeah. And
so
in Charlotte, by the way, DSJ returned. So
he did play well today. But if you know what, I dropped DSJ in one league. I don't know why, because I just tried to catch some categories. That was before he got it. Before he was reported to come back. So, but yeah, he did play well today, but he still had the same defensive stats. I think he had 2 steals and 2 blocks.
And remember what I told you about Charlotte, the tanking possibilities. They continue to lose. Steve Clifford is very irritated now, annoyed. He's not happy. He said that DSJ is the guy that's their best player. That says a lot. He said that he was our best player yesterday or today. Today. So
there's something about these
a lot.
So something about some of these coaches. I just see them in the um, same category. The Thibodeau's,
Mm,
the Casey, the
mm,
Clifford. They play the older guys a bit more than the younger
the
ones,
veterans.
right?
Yeah, because they want to win. They're not there to develop
To
players. They're there to win. They're there to win. So they want the DSJs. That's why Plumlee's getting minutes.
yeah,
Uh, and then Mark Williams, their almost lottery pick, hasn't really played. So
yeah.
that's why DSJ is okay. But this is the dilemma. Charlotte is one of three teams with only two games next week. Toronto's another, and I think Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, or Houston. I'll check. But Charlotte have only two games next week. So what do you do with that? What do you do with DSJ? I mean, you add him, it's gonna be tough because it's just two games. So
Yeah.
you
Another
might have to drop
player,
him.
another player in Toronto, Tad Young, similar boat. Um, Played well
Yeah.
past two games, but no games to be played in the first few days of the week 6.
So it's Charlotte, Toronto, yes, and Houston. Charlotte, Toronto, and Houston. So Tad Young is correct. What will you do with Tad Young? I mean,
Right?
that's
That's
a
why no one's
tough.
picking him up in the waiver
Yeah.
wire. I mean,
I think
despite the
DSJ.
two good games, no one's picking him up.
Yeah, DSJ, Nick Richards, who has two double doubles already in a row. I don't think can pick them up with two games. Tad Young also can't do that. Even Coloco, who had a good game
Now,
yesterday
if
with
you
four
have a
blocks.
strong team, who would you pick as a priority there? If you have you're in the top, because it's different when we're talking about teams that are on top of the standings, right? I
Yeah,
mean, they can take some risk with these two guys, with these two game teams, right? Um, who is the
I,
potential longer term um ad here?
I'll include Tari Eason here because I'm sure people should drop him also because Houston is another team with two games. And I'll put him number one there. That's cheating, but I love Tari Eason, so that's number one. DSJ
Hey,
probably is
wait,
my
in
number
fairness,
two.
he had, what, 3, 4 solid games already.
Yeah. But I think you will see some Tari Easons if
If they haven't
your
noticed,
team.
if some managers
Yeah,
haven't noticed.
plus two games is kind of hard really for borderline, not really that good of a player yet. So Eason is there. DSJ for me is the other. If you can hold on to him, I'll try to hold on to him. I'll
Now,
see what they do with him.
if
See
you
what they
have
do
these
with him.
players, do you drop them now? They
Oh,
don't have games in the
DSJ.
first few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I have to drop DSJ. I'm sorry, but again, depends on your team. But I'm assuming normal regular team that's struggling or still competing in a close match, you'll lose if you just have a player who just plays two games there, right?
Yeah.
So
And you might
yeah,
have, DSJ and maybe a Jabari or whoever, right? Or a Rozier,
yeah,
right?
and
In one
Houston
team.
maybe have a KPJ or a Jalen or Sengun,
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to win with and I am an example of that. Lonnie Walker last week or the other week, 2 game week for the Lakers. I think the other week I kept him and it was tough and I lost big also that week.
Yeah.
Because I did drop him.
I just realized in my Locked On Fantasy Bowl team, I have Jabari and Eason in one team. And then I have
Yeah,
DSJ and Rozier on the same team. So I'm going to be in trouble. The good thing about that is that it's a weekly caps league, games
yeah,
cap league. So somehow I can, it's okay. I might be able to hold on to them and still get some solid games um, with them because it's a 38 game cap. So yeah, but if you're in a Yahoo or maybe no games cap, that might be a problem for you. Yeah, let's talk about some of these guys. I know we uploaded a quick YouTube Shorts video, but just in case you missed that one, some players you might still be holding on to. Let's look into them. Isaiah Jackson, luxury hold, still luxury stash.
No, I still same luxury stash. Together with Okongwu, just to make it quicker. Okongwu and Hartenstein.
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein's not a stash. Hartenstein's not a stash. Isaiah Jackson is the guy who is a luxury stash, but I think he's droppable. He had 7 minutes yesterday. Just not enough minutes. I mean, if he's consistently at the 17, 18, 20 minutes, I'll be okay with that. But if he's getting 18 one day and then 7 the other day and then 11, that's too little. Too little to get any kind of value from Isaiah Jackson.
And same thing with Okongwu and Hartenstein.
Okongwu's a much easier drop for me than Isaiah Jackson. I think Isaiah Jackson's upside is so much higher than Okongwu. So yeah, it should have been dropped a couple of weeks ago. Okongwu.
Yeah. And Hartenstein probably the latest. Just not enough playing time.
Yeah.
Mitch Robb came back. That's one. Plus, even without Mitch Robb, Hartenstein just didn't do much. They played Jericho Sims. He was even a better player to have, you could have held than Isaiah Hartenstein overall, right?
Yeah.
Jericho Sims. But yeah, Hartenstein is a drop at this point. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Alperen Sengun is our worry player for today. Did MPJ do well today?
Not that good. Has
14 points. I think, 15 points.
14 or 15, a couple of rebounds. Well, better. Baby steps. I think little by little, maybe he gets it back. Hopefully,
but like we said, we have to watch for MPJ. He might not be feeling well, or the back might be acting up. But we haven't really heard anything. But yeah, just for him to be that top lead player there, but not doing well, it's just a lot of very concerning. And of course, Sengun, our worry player for today, he had a good game the other day. I think he had 4 blocks. So far,
for the past, I don't know, a week, past 2 weeks, past week, he's been outside top 150. People have asked what to do with Sengun. I think he's a buy low. He's struggling with a groin injury right now. He wasn't even sure he was going to play today. So I think there's something wrong there also, the groin. So
how do you know which injured players are a buy low?
The upside. I just go with the upside, the potential role or the role.
Who's the best right now? Harden? LaMelo?
Nah, I'm not happy with Harden. I wouldn't say LaMelo is the best, but
Bane is probably the best.
Bane is probably the best. Desmond Bane probably among the long-term injuries. Desmond Bane is the best buy low.
Dame?
LaMelo,
no.
Dame, no. As we talked about a while ago, Dame would probably have a lot of missed games even when he comes back. So not Dame. LaMelo, I'm just worried about. Well, the tanking, as I said, but if not, I like LaMelo over Harden, but I still like Bane the best among them.
Middleton.
Harden because Middleton's okay. Yes, Middleton's okay.
I've seen lots of Middleton. I've gotten a lot of offers for Middleton.
I prefer Harden over Middleton, but Middleton's fine. He's also a good buy low.
And Sengun, he should be closer to returning.
Yes, he should be closer to returning. Harden, I'm just worried about.
That's actually a sign when you know that a player is closer to returning, when he's been injured for the longest time, and then suddenly you get a barrage of offers for your player.
Yeah, he's coming back soon. Harden, I don't know what shape he's gonna be in when he returns. So that worries me.
So yeah, in case you're looking for some buy low opportunities there, we mentioned these players. Injured players are probably the easiest to buy low on because they're injured. And if you have this luxury of stashing them because you're at the top of the standings, or not even the number one. If you're number 2 or 3, I think you still have that, leeway to get one major player.
Just to wrap it up, Jalen Duren, talking about not buy low, but talking about buying, thinking about the future. He's better than Isaiah Jackson, Hartenstein, and everybody else. Way better.
Even now, right now, not even the upside.
Yeah, performance wise now is already better, but I think
he's averaging more minutes. Like I think he's doing 24, 25 minutes.
Around the 20 something minutes, and the fact that Cade is out is gonna help him. The fact that Cade is out is gonna help him because the team struggles. They're probably gonna develop him more this season. They'll spend time on him.
Yeah.
On his development. Yeah.
So that's it, guys. Lots of stuff we talked about. We were supposed to talk about the trade, but I think we'll leave that for tomorrow. So this is your daily fantasy quickie, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fantasy Benchwarmers, and of course, as always, please follow us on our socials. Everything is linked in the description below, so you can just check those out. Weekly schedule analyzer for week 6 up on the website fantasybenchwarmers.com, and of course on Facebook as well. That was released I think yesterday by Kamish, or the other day by Kamish. Alright, that's it, guys, for us. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.